Welcome to Climate Quickies, bite-sized nuggets of climate goodness from our TEDxLondon experts in under 5 minutes.
Hey everyone, this is Sathya Raghu. I am co-founder and CEO of Soul Forest. We build nature reserves in the suburbs of cities, and our first pilot is in the suburbs of Hyderabad, a city in the south central part of India. Interestingly, in the climate space, most of the investments, more than 90%, come from private capital. But when it comes to biodiversity and nature-based investments, barely any capital flows from private sector. Most of it flows either from philanthropy or governments. And when I dug into the reasons why that happens, I learned that we don't have enough models which are enough business models which promote biodiversity. It's pretty hard. So that's when I started thinking about how can we create a business model that ensures that biodiversity thrives with the private capital. So in the search for that intersection is how Soul Forest was born, as to how can humans and nature find a way to thrive together, and how can that become more and more investable with private capital. The nature park, what we are putting together, is next to a 400-acre lake, and a part of the lake overlaps with the biodiverse forest what we are putting together. So if I take the total of the nature reserve plus including the water body right next to it, which is also getting added in the overall ecosystem from an ecosystem lens, it's good 600 acres, and it's almost near the New York Central Park is about 800 plus acres, and this is a pretty comparable size, and it's a pretty interesting value proposition. If this starts becoming an investable model, then we will not have one such nature park, we will have many more of those. So this project is located in the suburbs of Hyderabad. Hyderabad is located in the Deccan Plateau region of India. So this cuts across about 4 to 5 states. So we are creating a replica of the biodiversity in terms of flora that is generally seen in Deccan Plateau in this region. So in any building of nature reserve, turning a barren land into nature reserve, we have some specific things to do. Like we need to create good water systems, which we are doing. We need to bring in native trees, and then we need to remove exotics and invasive species in that area. So these are the 3 things we should do. What we should not do is us actively introducing any fauna, any wildlife. That is not something that we should actively do. Once we bring the essential ingredients to that place, which we are in the process of doing, wildlife will find its way, whatever is conducive. It's a matter of time. Then we need to let the nature play its role. By end of this year, we would have completed the development part of it, as in whatever we need to do in terms of the water structures and the plants that are required for this region to start thriving in terms of biodiversity. And then over the next few years, we'll see the magic. One of the important things which is currently missing in the biodiversity conversation today is around the return on investment. When we say return on investment, it is not just the financial return on investment for biodiversity. Even the natural capital's return on investment, not just the financial capital. So we invest this into biodiverse projects. What is the growth in the natural capital? This needs to be quantified. If we crack this piece, that is when we as a world will be able to attract a lot more capital into biodiversity.
Thanks for listening to this quickie.
This episode was created by our superstar podcast team at TEDxLondon. Until next time,
Stay curious.